Scream. Across alternate timelines. Across the multiverse, Ghostface changes, but the scream remains. In this Vault transmission, we descend into 5 alternate realities of Scream, 1996. Each born from a different creative spark, each ending in blood. Some are brutal, some are elegiac. All are intriguing. Alternate timeline variant 1, Scream, Summer's End. Echo timeline designation SCRM96, SUMEND. Historical divergence point. Kevin Williamson writes a darker, more melancholic script in early 1995, reframing Scream as a late summer elegy for fading innocence. Tone. Bittersweet nostalgia meets ultra-violence. Cinematic pacing is more like Stand By Me meets The Hitcher. Ghostface identity. Only one killer, Billy Loomis acting alone, but driven by complex grief over his mother's abandonment and his father's affair. Sidney's arc. A more emotional, almost romantic final confrontation. She tries to save Billy during the climax, but fails. Major twist. Dewey dies midway through, raising the stakes and removing the comedic buffer the film is known for. Final shot. A slow pan of the now empty school auditorium, with photos of the victims on the walls as a haunting voiceover plays from a guidance counselor tape. 5 notable scenes from this alternate timeline cut. Scene 1. The picnic guts scene. A couple sneaks into an abandoned park for a summer farewell. As they lie on the blanket, Ghostface emerges from a tree line, slashing one through the back. The girl runs, only to later find the boy's organs arranged on the blanket like a farewell note. Scene 2. Dewey's death at dusk. Dewey investigates a noise in the gym. Ghostface drops from the rafters and stabs him through the side. He crawls for his fallen radio, but the killer kicks it away, then finishes him under the flickering scoreboard. Scene 3. Sidney's confession. In the 3rd act, Sidney breaks down to Billy about how her mother's choices shattered her reality. Not knowing he's already decided she must suffer beautifully. Scene 4. The auditorium massacre flashback. As Sidney steps into the empty school, she hears imagined cheers, then screams. A stylized sequence replays each kill in reverse, haunting and silent, with blood washing upward into the rafters. Scene 5. Final confrontation. You were my ending. Sidney stabs Billy, then cradles him. His last words, "I just wanted summer to last." The camera pulls back on her screaming alone in the auditorium as a tape of the guidance counselor plays. We must let go of what we love, or bleed trying. Alternate timeline variant 2, Scream, the video store murders. Echo timeline designation, SCRM96 VIDKILL. Historical divergence point. The project is directed by Robert Rodriguez instead of Wes Craven, under Dimension's original plan. Robert Rodriguez has the script reworked and rewritten to focus on Randy and the video store. Tone. More action horror hybrid with kinetic camera work and a stylized comic book feel. Think From Dusk Till Dawn meets The Faculty. Setting. Much of the film takes place in and around a video store run by Randy, which becomes a fortified hideout mid-film. Ghostface identities. Stu and a second killer who is not Billy. Troy Whitman, a disgruntled former store employee who believes horror has become too sanitized. Troy became obsessed with making a real-life horror film with no survivors. He's cinematic, theatrical, and quotes horror films like scripture. Like in our timeline, Stu is along for the ride. Their plan is dubbed Final Format, a killing spree staged like a slasher boxed set. Each murder is patterned after a different subgenre or franchise, with matching tapes left behind as ritual markers. Meta element. Characters actively debate hypothetical sequels of horror films that never existed, e.g., The Thing 2, Nightmare 7 directed by Cronenberg, etc. Visual gag. Each death is modeled after a famous horror scene, including a Shining-style axe scene in the freezer. Structure of the film. The audience knows early on that Troy Whitman and Stu are the killers. However, their identities are never revealed to the surviving characters, not even Randy. The killer plotline is framed like a behind-the-scenes director's cut, as if we're watching the making of a horror film as it kills its cast. Ghostface isn't a mystery to the audience. The mystery is how far they're willing to take the final format. It mirrors Natural-Born Killers and Man Bites Dog, where the killers are almost self-documentarians. Rodriguez defended this decision in that timeline by saying, "When the real directors are holding the knife, the cast never gets to read the script." 5 notable scenes from this alternate timeline. Cut. Scene 1. Freezer axe death. Shining homage. A girl hides in the walk-in freezer. Ghostface busts through the door with a fire axe, repeating lines from The Shining. Her screams freeze in her throat as she's split diagonally from shoulder to ribs. Scene 2. Blade in the rewind slot. The killer rigs the VHS return slot. When a clerk reaches inside, his arm is shredded by fishing wire and glass. Ghostface appears behind him, whispering, "Be kind, rewind," before stabbing him in the throat. Scene 3. The Wall of Boxes death. A character is trapped in an aisle of stacked VHS tapes. The killer rushes him, shoving him into a display. The victim is impaled on a rack of Friday the 13th boxed sets, leaving the covers soaked in real blood. Scene 4. Meta-horror debate. Which kill would you want? Randy and 2 survivors, Jason and Devin, argue about how they'd prefer to die based on horror movie logic. Devin predicts he'll go like the guy in Maniac, scalped in a mirror hall baby. Minutes later, he's stabbed to death and scalped in a mirrored hallway. Scene 5. Cut to black. Ending. Randy's final shot is him facing Ghostface with a camera rolling. He says, "This is how it ends." Directed by Trauma. Edited by Fear. Then slashes echo as the camera is knocked over and fades to static. Alternate timeline variant 3. Scream. Live broadcast. Echo timeline designation. SCRM96LIVE. Historical divergence point. Fall 1995. In multiple strands, Kevin Williamson watched 1995's Hackers and was directly inspired by the Razor and Blade pirate satellite show to rework the script. Paired with the rising fear of pirate satellite signals and snuff broadcast urban legends in the mid-90s, it inspired a rapid rewrite pitch by Kevin during Dimension's review of the early Scream drafts. Williams' script rewrites added a new framing device. The murders are being secretly live broadcast by the killers via a pirated satellite signal. In that timeline, Kevin later called it, in an interview in May 1999, "The Truman Show if Truman knew the cameras were out to kill him." Thus, Scream live broadcast was born. Killer duo, Billy and a masked online persona named Signal, revealed to be a tech-savvy classmate who was expelled. Hook. The killers are broadcasting the murders via pirated satellite signal, later revealed to have been watched by millions. Tone. Digital paranoia. Sydney's twist. She uses the broadcast against them, turning the final act into a reverse manipulation where she feeds false info to the stream to trap them. Legacy impact. Inspires a wave of copycats. This version spawned a very different sequel strand, closer to the Den or Unfriended. 5 notable scenes from this alternate timeline. Cut. Scene 1. First broadcasted murder. Emily, a cheerleader, answers a call. The voice isn't masked, it's hers, stitched together from her cheer practice recordings to sound eerily real. Confused, she turns on the TV. Static clears to reveal a grainy broadcast of her own room. She watches herself on screen as the closet door creaks open behind her image. And behind her in reality, a distorted voice, Ghostface. "You've been seen. Now, be remembered." Ghostface strikes from behind as the TV replays it all, 4 seconds delayed, in a loop. Scene 2. Signals on camera reveal. Instead of keeping identities hidden until the very end, Signal removes his mask on stream at a pivotal point halfway through. His justification: a face gets more viewers. He stabs a teen in front of a school camera with thousands watching live. Scene 3. Sydney turns the tables. She sends a pre-recorded feed showing her fleeing the school. Ghostface follows, only to find she's behind him, on a delay. The trap turns into a bloody ambush with Signal impaled through a satellite dish pole. Scene 4. The classroom execution feed. A pre-taped message interrupts class. The killers force a student to choose who lives, his teacher or his girlfriend. The vote is held live through a hacked school network. Everyone watches. Everyone screams. Scene 5. The broadcast will never end. Ending. After surviving, Sydney watches reruns of the murders playing on loop on a different pirate broadcast channel. Someone in costume says, "New broadcast drops tonight. New mask, new rules." Cut to black. Alternate timeline variant 4, Oliver Stone's Scream. In multiple Vault-confirmed Echo timelines, Oliver Stone directed a version of Scream, and the results were both brilliantly subversive and deeply polarizing. Here's a detailed breakdown of what Scream became under his vision in those timelines. Scream, A Theory of Violence. 1996, Oliver Stone Cut. Internally known as the Stone Cut. Oliver Stone reimagines Scream as a psychological essay on America's addiction to violence and fame. Instead of a meta-slasher, it's a surreal critique of how horror itself breeds killers. Sydney becomes the daughter of a missing journalist who vanished while researching snuff films, her trauma rooted in media exposure. Billy and Stu are rewritten as radicalized teens. Inspired by a leaked underground tape, stab.mov. Randy, a self-loathing cinephile, secretly records his friends to engineer the perfect real-life horror movie. Shot on grainy film with surveillance inserts and TV static, Stone's version mixes suburbia with televised nightmare. Natural-born killers meets Videodrome. The Ghostface costume is occasionally replaced by more abstract masks in hallucination scenes, including a blank TV screen for a face. Tone: postmodern psychological horror. 5 notable scenes from this alternate timeline cut. Scene 1. Hallucination kill scene. TV face. Sydney finds her friend dead, posed in front of a wall of TVs, each screen showing her death from different angles. One TV face flickers to Ghostface, then becomes her mother's face screaming as the body convulses in front of her. Scene 2. The stab.mov sequence. Randy plays the forbidden tape that radicalized the killers. The footage is jittery, faces blurred, but shows real violence with narration like a manifesto. Cut to Stu reenacting a kill frame by frame while watching. Scene 3. Surveillance death. Gas station. A man is filmed pumping gas. He turns, sees Ghostface, who stabs him repeatedly. We then see it replayed on security monitors as bystanders watch, frozen. No one intervenes. Scene 4. Sydney's descent. She finds herself unable to remember what's real. All her memories now recorded on tape. One sequence overlays her mother's death scene with her own, until she screams, "Who edited me?" Scene 5. Final AV room sequence. The broadcast room. In the final act, Sydney confronts Billy and Stu inside an abandoned AV club building, wired with 24 TVs, each screen showing a moment of her life she didn't know was being recorded. The killers reveal that they've been scripting her entire final girl arc. Billy, you think you're surviving. You're just hitting your cues. Sydney raises axe. Then this is my rewrite. She smashes the master feed, causing all the screens to distort into her mother's face, screaming on loop. Critical reactions in that timeline. A disturbing masterpiece of postmodern horror. Variety. Confusing. Too serious, barely any kills. Teen audiences. Cult fans formed early conspiracy boards about Randy being the third killer. Kevin Williamson publicly distanced himself. It's not the story I wrote. Long-term impact. The meta-horror boom never happens. No urban legend, I know what you did last summer, or Valentine in the form we know. 4 timelines, 4 masks, 4 rewrites of fear. Some vanished, some broadcast, some bled truth across the reel. But they all answered the same call. What's your favorite scary movie?